rocket balloons, but I'm just using them to make sure I can clean this up and get into the next one quicker for you guys. But this one's overkill. We got a lovely Royal Champion charge into the core. It was a little bit more of a base asking for it, kind of stacked up like that. But that's what you're going to get sometimes, and you got to make sure you get in that core and take advantage of it, and I did. And we're going to smash through this one. So let's just keep rolling together. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Word back again with another video. A couple things I just want to say before we start this video is make sure you join the Discord link. It's in my description. I post my Legend League bases that I'm running, and yeah, today we're having some great success on defense. Yesterday we didn't have as great of luck, but then we changed bases, and I tell you guys what I'm going to be running every day. Yeah, so I just want you to be able to take full advantage of the bases that I'm running that are doing well and performing. I'm editing them, making sure that they're going to be, to what I think is going to be working best. So make sure you take advantage of that, and just a community there that is really supportive. And yeah, I wanted to tell you guys that. Also, if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe. I'm so thankful for the growth we've already had. We've pushed close to 850 subscribers, I think, at the time of recording this. I'm just so thankful for the growth that we've had in this week from you guys. So yeah, just if you don't mind doing that, that'd be awesome, just to continue to show your support to me. And if you haven't already, you go down and check out some of the other videos that I've done. I've recently done an attack, or a day with 8 different attacks for each attack in Legend League. We went 320 with that one. I did some Lalo yesterday. There's some amazing videos that I really recommend checking out if you haven't already. And yeah, without further ado, today we're going to be using Dragon Riders. I think this army is actually quite strong. There's a couple things needed to do it, though. The RC is going to be using the Spear and the Phoenix. I usually use the Spirit Fox, as probably most of you do. So to use the Phoenix, it does make it a little easier. So I'm trying to make this army a little bit as simple as possible for people who, might not be as good at the game. But the biggest thing is with the Phoenix, you're going to have to be pushing your RC over buildings quickly, right? You want to be moving into the next defense quickly. You want to be making sure you get full advantage of that aura. We got the Giant Arrow sometimes to help us finish off a building that the Royal Champion's on. And to snipe out air defenses. We've got this combo on the Warden here with the Sneezy, and then Jelly on the Minion Prince. This one's going to be a little interesting, but I'm going to show you guys how it works. I think it's actually really strong. I've done really well in any testing, so I'm really excited to bring this in the Legend League, and yeah, let's see how it goes. Alright, here we go into the first one. And once again, as I mentioned, make sure you're using whatever seed you want, which is usually the Stone Slammer, from your training. Don't take it from your clan and make them have to donate it back to you. But anyway, on to this one. There's some really nice value around the Town Hall here, to be honest with you, with the Rage Tower, 2 multi-targets, and the multi-archer tower. So I might try and get into there. I'm just going to do that by sniping out kind of everything in this corner right here. My Royal Champion has 9 spears. You can count that, what yours might have based on her level. But it helps you to know there's 4. I guess she's going to be taking Town Hall shots, so I'll just invis her right here. But then you can know when she's going to be diving into the base, which is kind of important to know, because then you'll need to know when you're pushing in versus when you're staying out of range of most of the defenses. So as I mentioned right here, we're going to be, it's kind of hard to talk and count in my head, so I'll try my best. But we're going to be trying to jump over the defenses here, really letting the aura get the most of its value. Yeah, so we're going to be kind of trying to push in the core here and hopefully not to the air defense. Nice. And you just want to make sure you're always covering, don't let her die right here, but yeah, always covering the building you're on every once in a while, because if you just let your Royal Champion take them out by her own, she won't get that much value. I don't like hitting this Ricochet Cannon here because that's not that great value for me. But yeah, making sure this aura gets just full value right here. I think we should be able to get a Gear Tower, which is pretty good. We won't quite get to the core, which isn't ideal. But, we'll take it, I guess, as it is. And it looks like we might be able to set up a push right down this side. I'm going to be trying to snipe out these air defenses plus the air sweeper. We actually got everything right there, which is amazing. Sometimes I do this where I'm going to be using on top of my Queen the Dragon Riders. It really helps with cleanup because that can be one of your biggest issues with this army. So it really helps, yeah, to just have kind of the Queen working behind the Dragon Riders, which is the slow part. I use these rocket balloons a bit to funnel my Dragon Riders into the core. And something you might see a bit today, I'll actually pop my Warden ability right here on this one. But sometimes with your Minion Prince with Jelly, right, he might not get to a spot to pop his ability at good timing. I like this Rage Tower compartment for his ability, but sometimes you're not going to get to a good spot because the Dragon Riders target defenses, so they're going to move ahead, and so does he with the Jelly, but then when the Jelly expires, right now he's going to be a bit behind them. So you just want to make sure that you're usually using the ability pretty early, because yes, right here you see nothing being able to target the Minion Prince. So that's why I have this Super Dragon. But yeah, right here I'll pop the ability just to kind of try and slow up this back end. We didn't really get into this one too well because, yes, like I said, my Minion Prince took a little bit to catch up to the rest of the troops right here. So my Archer Queen also has done absolutely nothing, beating on a wall. Usually she wraps around outside and gets some value. But this one's going to be pretty close. There's just some Wizard Towers, so I'm hoping we can power through it. But as I was mentioning, usually you'll want to use your Minion Prince a little early because while he has the Jelly, he can stay with the Dragon Riders and get some better value, whereas if he's just behind them the whole time shooting trash buildings, by the time he uses his ability, almost like I did right there, everything's already died, like your Dragon Rider, so there's not as much value. So yeah, going to be trying to use it a little bit earlier, not necessarily before the Warden, sometimes same time, but usually a little earlier. This one's going to be a little close. As I mentioned, time's usually your issue, and I did have a little bit of trouble here with losing my Dragon Riders. And the RC charge didn't even get as much value as I was hoping, but we're still looking good here. The Valkyrie's actually tanking this Wizard Tower, so I can get a bunch of stuff in. We'll still get the triple. The Super Dragon, yes, is really helpful. You saw it take out the Minion Prince right there. So that's kind of the whole purpose, is heroes can be a little bit of a struggle. So that's why we're bringing the Super Dragon, but already getting a triple is nice, and let's keep it going. Alright, hopping in the next one here. I just wanted to say, I'm actually doing one more Gold Pass video. I'm sending it after the first attack, saying that, so that in case people who actually watch will get the chance. So make sure you're subscribed to my channel and in my Discord, and I'll be giving a Gold Pass away 24 hours from this video. I just had one more, since it didn't quite work out with somebody I was trying to give it to. So yeah, this is, that's what I'm going to be doing for this video, so make sure you get into that. On this base, I kind of want to try and get into the core, but I also like this bottom section, so I'm just going to try and spear that. So this is where I'm going to kind of count, right? There's 1 spear, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the bomb tower, and then probably 7, 8, maybe all 9 without a quake on this bomb tower. Nope, 9. So she's going to dive into the multi, and I know that, because sometimes if she's going to be diving in, or like taking out something with your spear, and you think she's going there, but because she'll take it down, she actually goes somewhere else. You got to pay attention to how many spears you have left, right? So that you don't waste any invis. So it's really important to keep your Royal Champion alive with the Phoenix. If she goes down early because you don't have the Spirit Fox, sometimes you can mess up if you're not paying attention. If you don't have the Spirit Fox, you really need to get as much value as you can before the Phoenix goes off. And sometimes that can be tough. So the Town Hall would be a decent target here, but I'd actually rather wrap around it. Okay, I guess we're going to go to it. But I might prefer not to, but I guess we are. I was hoping not to, but if I could get the scatter shot still, and maybe I'll be able to trigger the poison tower as well, which would be nice, unless she goes to the archers. But she's back right here. Not sure where she's going. Okay, she's right here. She'll be fighting kind of both heroes, which will be a little sketchy. But I think I'm going to just try and start kind of right behind this poison, or this fire spitter, since I want to get that down as quick as possible. I'm trying to snipe out that far air defense, and I miss it right there. So I didn't get too much value with that one. I'm going to be letting my queen maybe actually just take down this fire spitter early, since she's kind of just on it on her own right there. And then I'll be going in kind of right here. I didn't want the fire spitter to get too much value on me, so that's why I wanted my queen to take it out early, but I also wanted my dragon riders to kind of wrap around the core right here. So they're going to duck in right after this ricochet cannon, so I'm kind of trying to set a funnel but also tank for some of this stuff right here. I want my minion prince to get a decent ability right here, but I might be forced to ward in. I'm going to get a nice freeze right here to just try and help out. Minion Prince ability is looking like it might be solid in a second here. I'm going to pop this Warden ability to really just kind of support, go in right there for that. But yeah, if I can kind of just try and support this Stone Slammer just for a bit right there. I didn't quite heal it back up enough, but it just gets it a little deeper into the base towards that queen. That was my goal right there, and it worked. So this is exactly what I was talking about, where, you know, I got the Super Dragon as my only kind of thing to help with the queen, because as you can see, right, my Minion Prince is stuck behind on trash buildings, and he's not going to get his ability off. So I should have tried to find a time, as I was mentioning to you guys earlier in the attack, to use it. I didn't, but we're still going to try our best right here. We got a little bit of force getting through and not too much air defense or damage left in the base. I think we'll wrap around this one pretty nicely and get another 3-star. But yes, try and get those abilities off a little earlier for the Minion Prince, and that'll definitely help you out. I didn't do that once again. Here's a pretty good ability, though, into the back end. My queen's going to be helping clean up, so I'm just really trying to make sure I can finish up this base in time. But it does look like we're doing fine. I'm not really too sure. It's going to be really close, but I think we'll get this one finishing on the mortar kind of right here. But yeah, definitely a strong army. You do got to be careful of time. That's going to be your biggest, you know, issue, and then heroes, obviously. But your Minion Prince can do a lot with his metal pants. So time's your biggest issue, number one. Make sure you use those minions smart so you can get it kind of at the last second like I did right there. Alright, hopping in the next one right here, and I'm going to do as I told you guys. I'm going to be popping my Minion Prince a little earlier in this one, and we'll see what we can do. I really like if I could get into this Flame Spinner, and I see some aura potential if I could get down maybe both of those. But down here, there's just way too much air damage, so I do got to go into this side. So I'm going to be popping the Quake spell, trying to hit that Builder Hut for sure. There's one spear, 2. I think we'll one-shot the Archer Tower. Yep, 3, 4, 5 air defense one-shot. Nice with the Quake. 6, 7... We're going to get into the, right there, 6, 7, there's no way, 8, 9. So now she's going to turn to Builder Hut. Okay, there was a Tesla, I guess. But, kind of wasted that one invis, but we'll be fine, I think, right here. I'm going to be going right here, and then you'll probably see me overlap this one right here, because she won't quite get it down, but then the aura should be able to finish that off. Or I can always cut back to it if I need. But as I mentioned, right here, we're just going to be letting the aura do a little bit of work. Look at that. It almost took it down fully by itself. Going over to this one, and then she should naturally go in, especially with the rocket balloon right there towards the scatter shots, which will be amazing. Gonna just overlap right there, let the aura finish that one off, not waste the shot. You really got to be abusing the aura, using the Phoenix right here. So right here, I'm probably going to be trying to invis the poison tower as well to push my Royal Champion over to the other scatter shot. Let the aura. Now I'm going to go for the monolith. So you see me really just working this aura, letting the Royal Champion do as much as she can. I'm going to invis right here so that hopefully she can go to the scatter shot again once she finishes this, just to make sure under Phoenix she'll get it. There's 3 ice golems in the clan castle. We pull both poison towers right here, which is amazing. And yeah, you're going to see me try and just snipe the sweeper right here. I'm going to be coming into the minion prince, just so that my minion prince can kind of get in there really early and get that down. But you're going to see me going for that far sweeper. Hopefully we can hit it. No, we completely whiff it right there. So I definitely got to get some work on my giant arrows. But I'm going to try and funnel in right here if I can take down. Okay, the mortar, there's still a Tesla right there. But just hoping to funnel in. I'll probably be using the minion prince ability really early, like I mentioned. So I'll just pop it right here because I'm trying to get some decent value with it. It doesn't actually go that crazy, but we're doing fine right here. Now I got a super dragon to finish off the queen, so we're doing fine on that side. Warden ability right here just because the core is going to be absolutely stacked, as you see, with a bunch of stuff. I'll go with a Valk to just try and help my queen kind of tank up right here. There's some rocket balloons just to really try and help me push through that backside. And now there's the enemy Royal Champion over here, which I'll have a poison in my minion prince for, and those are kind of the only 2 things. So I got to make sure we're getting through it with that. I'll give it a poison because it's kind of the only hero I'm worried about. I'm not really worried how much value my queen's going to get me. So yeah, we're moving in right here. There's my freeze. I should have used it a little second earlier to stop that from that one pushback. But yeah, I was just trying to get through here. Trying to get into this fire spitter as early as I can. We're working around this one again pretty slowly. But my queen's actually getting some much better value on this one with the Frosty. And we're looking pretty solid. I mean, there's just this multi-inferno and multi-archer tower, but I do got the whole minion prince and super dragon that are going to be working around. And the Frosty's just doing crazy work with my queen, slowing everything down enough. So there's another 3-star in the books, making sure you're managing this time. And this army's honestly pretty easy. You know, you get that Royal Champion charge, which is not too hard with the Phoenix, and you're just kind of walking through these bases. Alright, so we're continuing to do some work right here. Up here's got 2 ground bows, so all there is for air is that archer tower and multi-gear. So there is a lot of stuff, but I'm not too worried about it. I'd rather get into that core, because these fire spitters even aren't that scary. So we'll see how we can do that. I might try and push in right here. I see some decent pathing, so I'm going to try and work my way in there. There's 3, 4. I'm ready to use rocket balloons in this archer tower to pull me in. Looks like I will, because I wasn't sure if she would path there with the spear anyways, but she doesn't. She should pull in after this one spear. There she goes. So she's on the air defense, and I'm actually going to cut her in towards the multi right now, because I see that if I can kind of work by this scatter shot, I can kind of keep going around through the X-bow back into the core. So the aura is going to get some crazy value here kind of on all the multis. That's kind of the whole purpose of this right here. I'm probably going to skip the X-bow and go back into this core to the up multi right there. There we go to it. We hit the tornado trap, but that's fine. I just got to make sure I'm not dying early right here, so making sure I'm invising a little safe just in case when it's getting sketchy. We're jumping around right here, so got to be a little careful. We go through the poison tower, and now we're up. So I don't really like the value up there. I'd rather go for the scatter shot. Nice, like that. But she's visible, so I got to be quick with that one. We got one more right here in the books. I'm going for the multi rather than the X-bow, and then maybe we can get the aura on the air defense if we're lucky. But just to go behind the spitters right here, since that's amazing value, I'm going to try and hit maybe the air sweepers. I got one of them, and whatever, I guess that is what it is. But yeah, we're going to be kind of pushing in right here very heavy. I got the minion prince, which will do great work on this queen early, which is always nice, using the minion prince how I should onto one of the heroes. But yeah, we're going to kind of work in right here. Going to be going in. I'm fine to use the minion prince later in this one, because there's kind of everything at the start of this one. I'm going to poison these archers, since they're going to take a while for my minion prince to get through. But yeah, as long as we can kind of get through this section at the start with the warden ability right here, then I can use the minion prince on that hefty back end, which would be great work. I just got to make sure I get around there in decent timing. That's kind of what I'm most worried about now, is that the dragon riders are, you know, going to get way too ahead right here of my minion prince. So I'm trying to clear up this back end as quickly as I can with some stuff right here to push my minion prince quickly back after, you know, we take out all these defenses with them up there to that elixir storage at the least. And it looks like we're actually getting this down pretty quickly. My queen's actually going to help out around the outside, maybe tank that archer tower for a bit for me. As long as I get a good minion prince ability here, we should be good. So I'm really trying to use these minions right here just to kind of help out 100%. I might even get a freeze just for a second right here on the minion prince, because he's doing a bit of damage, just continuing to slow him down. I'm going to go in for the wizard tower and both Tesla right there. That's huge value. And then I'm going to get a lovely minion prince ability through everything right there. I used it, try to be a little quicker like I did right there. It was a little bit harder to hit because he wasn't on defense, but I wanted to make sure I hit everything while I still had some Dragon Riders and Super Dragon alive. So we're going to get another 3-star right here. The Royal Champion just kind of to the core. The Spear helps to set up a bit of a funnel. So there's another 3-star with this army, and let's just try and keep it rolling. Alright, so far so good. We get a little bit of a interesting looking base here. This one looks like it could be tough. But once again, we notice a couple multi-archer towers up top there with an air defense. And maybe I can get some decent value if I could charge kind of towards this Town Hall core area and then kind of go right into the Giga Bomb early with the Warden ability. I think we could get some decent pathing. There'd just be this Fire Spitter on the back end, which could be a little bit troublesome, but some ground expos around there. So I think we'll kind of see where the pathing takes us. But yeah, definitely going with the Royal Champion up top right here. So there's 2 spears already. I'm just making sure I'm keeping track of them. There's 3, 4, 5. I'll invis just to make sure I don't hit the king. But the king can be a little troublesome, so I'm really trying to avoid him right here. Trying to skip over him. Luckily, there's a Tesla right there, so my Royal Champion just isn't kind of running in the open. But if the king hits your Royal Champion, sometimes that's when she'll target him. So a little bit of multitasking right there with balloons. Yeah, right here she's going for the king, which just is really bad. It goes invisible right here, there, luckily for me. I don't know if she'll path into the Town Hall nicely now, though. And she left that Archer Tower on 1 HP, which is also just unfortunate. So we're not doing amazing of a charge right now. Trying to count the tiles, and I bet you she's jumping into the Ricochet Cannon, but just to be safe, I'll redirect because I'd rather be safe than sorry. I'll be pushing into the Town Hall right here. I really want to make sure I get it down, so I'm not even going to skip over it. Just get as many shots on it as I can. And based on where that sweeper's placed, I'm definitely going to be entering in towards this multi-archer tower, since it'll just get me the most kind of value. Okay, Ice Golems come out, not even a Furnace. I'll kind of try and pull them over to this corner, away from my Dragon Riders and stuff. But yes, I'm definitely going to be entering right here. This one wasn't as amazing as of a charge by me. I'm still trying to figure out where I'm going to Giant Arrow. But I think I might try and line one up right. I want to try and go across the base maybe, but yeah, we'll see what happens right here. There's a pretty good Warden ability just as I still have everything in through the Giga Bomb. Still trying to line up this Giant Arrow though, to be honest with you. And I think what I'm just leaning towards is making sure I hit this air defense close to me. And nice, I got the back one too. I was really trying to, but I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to. So we're looking pretty solid right here, but once again, now my Minion Prince is kind of just really lacking behind. I'm going to go with the Poison and Freeze because I really want to make sure I can get through. There's a nice Warden ability, or Minion Prince ability before he was right, see him going back. He's not going to be joining them for a while, so I just wanted to make sure I could get down those air targeting defenses quickly so that they weren't going to be too much of a problem later on. Here I really only got the Super Dragon to help me out, so I might be trying to tank the multi, or the Minion Prince and multi. I didn't right there, but I think we'll still get that down with the Super Dragon. It looks like it's powering through. So here we get some minions already on cleanup. Make sure you do not forget those guys. Get them down early enough. And we're looking pretty good right here. We got our Minion Prince joining in with the Queen right there in the core. They're kind of taking everything down by themselves. And there's no more air targeting stuff you see over here. There's the Queen in the core, but I can kind of stay away from her and just cleaning up the backside. So we're going to get another triple right here. As you can see, this army's like, it's not crushingly overkill, but we're getting 3 stars pretty easily with my Minion Prince almost full health every time in the Super Dragon. So we're getting some really nice 3 stars, and it's very, very easy to use, which is really nice for some people who just aren't quite as good at the game. Being able to use these armies and still perform really well up high with some of the bigger guys. So here we go. We're going to continue going right here. This base is pretty stacked. There's a giant core right there, which would be obviously lovely to get into. But we'll see how we can maybe try and path into that. I bet you if I go into the monolith, I can get kind of that value right there and kind of start skipping into the core. So that's what I'm going to try and do right here. I'm going to use the Quake on the corner. And with a really good value of the spear right here is it should be able to go take down the mortar and maybe the multi-archer tower on its own. But definitely the mortar, and that'll kind of push me in towards the core. So it just does a really good job kind of controlling your pathing, getting you where you want to go early. So yeah, you're going to see right here, I'm going in, and then I'm just going to hit a redirect. I'd like to get the air defense, obviously, but I'd rather get, this entire core. So I'm going to make sure I don't miss out on that right there. I'm going to skip over to the Flame Spinner. Nice, so I wasn't sure if we'd stay into the core, but we are right here. This is absolutely beautiful. Skipping over the Flame Spinner now, or I guess not, but I got the multi right here on Aura. Watch, got to be careful. My RC was getting into some big trouble right there. Okay, we're back into the core again, which is lovely. I'd like to take out both those scatters if I can. I know it's a lot to ask, but I think we can do it with the invis that we've got left right here. This is where I've really got to be, strategic. Boom, we're skipping the gear tower with the first one. Skipping the scatter back to the gear tower on this one, because then if I can target the gear tower, yep, I can go into the multi. Final one right there. Nice, we're going to get the multi down, and then I think the Phoenix should help me grab this scatter, and I could use the Giant Arrow to try and do that. But I'm really going to make sure my Giant Arrow hits these sweepers, especially the one facing me, so I'm going to try my best right there. I think I lined it up. Nice. Absolutely beautiful right there. my queen can take out the enemy queen, and we can kind of roll in right here. I'm going to be entering right onto this ricochet cannon so that I can really help my my queen stay alive, because that would do a lot of damage to her. And then yeah, probably right on this expo right here, I placed my minion prince intentionally to get a nice lineup right there into most of the back end. Looks like I missed the multi, but that's okay with me. Yeah, we're going to get some really nice value right here. I'll let the Super Dragon pop because I do want some support on the minion prince. We killed the queen early, so I mean, I guess there's the royal champion, but I was going to say that's the last air targeting hero. It's not, but to be honest, the minion prince is a lot scarier, and we'll have our minion prince alive with the Super Dragon. So it's a lovely, lovely warden ability. You see right there, I actually got the... I bet you I'll get a booger to spawn right here and go get these two things in the core, but I sent a minion anyway. But you see I got the minion prince ability earlier, and that really mitigated so much damage that the warden ability could be held, and well enough, not just wasted and held. And yeah, we got some huge, huge value. So if you didn't know how the sneezy works, I got 2 boogers alive right here. You see them by the minion prince and dragon riders. And if you already have 2 alive, it's not going to spawn anymore. So that's, you know, why right here it didn't spawn anymore in the core. I thought I didn't have 2 alive, but yeah, we're crushing this one. I didn't even need these rocket balloons, but I'm just using them to make sure I can clean this up and get into the next one quicker for you guys. But this one's overkill. We got a lovely royal champion charge into the core. It was a little bit more of a base asking for it, kind of stacked up like that. But that's what you're going to get sometimes, and you got to make sure you get in that core and take advantage of it, and I did. And we're going to smash through this one. So let's just keep rolling together. Alright, next one here, and once again we got a lovely, lovely core. We really got to get into that. The easiest place, it's actually not looking like incredibly easy, and there's a flame spinner, which could always be nice to grab with my royal champion if I can. But I'm going to see if I can get this single down, because that would provide me some huge value. I placed her up top intentionally because I'd rather not go towards this wizard tower, so I'm trying my best to make sure it goes down. I'm not sure if it quite will, but I don't want her to go down there at all. If she goes into this expo, though, we might be looking really pretty, and she should. Nice, so she goes in right there. I'm going to redirect her right into the core instantly. So that was just absolutely beautiful by my royal champion right here. We're right in the core already. I'm going to be trying to do my best to, one, overlap the invis, but make sure I get that ice golem as well. I do not want to be spending royal champion shots and destroying that, because the aura will already probably destroy it on its own. And you see right here I'm working the aura. Everything's like a 3rd HP, and I'm really letting the aura just take everything down. Just huge value. I don't need to shoot any of these defenses again. Turns out I did, but it would have went down anyway, so it's kind of hard to time. I'm just watching for when this invis looks like it's about to expire, since I can't really count in my head while talking to you guys. It's pretty tough, but I'm doing my best right here. And we're leaving all these buildings kind of 1 spear shot, maybe 2 spear shots, because then she can kind of use her aura to get the rest of it. So she's going to go take down this entire core. She's actually going to get the clan castle as well, but her aura should be able to finish this off. I don't think she'll get the ice hound right there. So yeah, we're going to be pushing in. I don't like seeing that air sweeper, because she'll get the core, but she won't get the air sweeper. So yeah, I'll probably send this to try and get that air sweeper. Nice, we got the scatter shot though, actually, which isn't bad. And I'll definitely enter right here, just trying to stay behind that air sweeper that is up. No point going into the town hall, because I should be able to wrap around this base no problem. And yes, I'd rather not, you know, go straight into an air sweeper. So we're going to be entering right here. I'll probably use my warden ability in a second, because I could tank that bomb no problem. But I'll get my, you know, the stone slammer's doing a lot of tanking right here, so I'll just warden ability. There's not really a section that's like crazy big damage on this one. Everything's kind of everywhere, so we did lose the Frosty. I might freeze the Archer Tower and Flame Spinner to really help my queen get through all that. But as I was saying, there's not like one section that screams warden ability, so there was no point trying to save it. I might as well use it, heal back up, and yeah, try and push through the rest of this. I don't think my queen's going to get through this storage in Hero Hall, so there's no point freezing for her. My minion prince, actually, if I can funnel this a little bit quicker, he's going to turn in with the troops, which is amazing. So I'll just get the poison down, but if he could turn in maybe towards this minion prince in a second, that'd be lovely. He's working his way in slowly right here, but I'd rather he go a little bit quicker. I'll poison right here when my super dragon comes out, so we should get some amazing, amazing value right here. I'm gonna not use the freeze right here because I don't need it, and I'd rather not make my clan donate it to me once again. So yeah, we're kind of just pushing through the back end of this base pretty easily right here. Yeah, my minion prince is going to be just kind of rolling around. He'll use his ability at the very end of this attack, but we've absolutely slammed this base once again. Just like the last one, you know, huge core, which obviously would provide your royal champion with lots of value, but you do got to get into there, and that can be a struggle sometimes. So we're fully swagging the minion prince ability, which can be considered the best in the game, maybe behind the Eternal Tome. So that's a huge swag on this one, not needing that. And yeah, I think we got one left, so let's just try and keep this day. Alright, final attack of the day, and we get a nice invis core for you guys to show. That's perfect, actually, to end the video with one of these bases that you're guaranteed to find in lower legends, and even at the end of the season where people are trying to get lucky. So I really got to try and get my Royal Champion into the core right here, which sometimes can be a struggle, but I'll use the Giant Arrow as well early to trigger that Invis Tower to get her in there. So if I can just try and kind of funnel out this corner, then it will push my Royal Champion in naturally. So I'm going to be using the Quake right here. I just really don't want to get towards the King because that could provide some trouble. So I want to see where she's going to be pathing. The King's probably going to come out to me in a second, but I've already got a decent amount of spears off, so I'll be jumping in soon. One more right here, and she's going to go into the Fire Spitter. There it is. So I think she'll go to the Air Sweeper, but I just want to be certain, first of all, on her pathing. So she does. I'll be using the Queen ability right here, making sure, obviously, I don't miss the core. There it is. And I got an air defense on the way, which is my goal. So she should dive towards the Mortar, but then she'll get the Expo eventually. I really don't like that she goes for the King. Hoping she dives to the core. Nice, she did. If she didn't, obviously, I could have redirected her, but I saw the pathing already naturally. I'm letting my Queen kind of die on this one, but she got an air defense, to be honest, and the biggest important part is getting this Town Hall. So you got to make sure you get this Invis Tower down. I'm probably going to skip the Town Hall on this one since I have 3 more Invis spells. Making sure I get that Invisibility Tower, there's no question about that. And then right here, yep, we're going to be continuing to use the Aura. I'm probably going to Invis to make sure I start targeting the Town Hall because I do want to make sure I get it down, like, no questions. So her Aura might be able to take down a couple more things right here. I'm not quite sure, but there is so much available for her. So we'll kind of see. On this one, I might be offering up a little bit of a split. But, yeah, I want to get in really early to this section right here. So I'm going straight in, I think, to a Sweeper, which isn't ideal. So we'll kind of see how it goes. But I just wanted to make sure I could get the enemy hero and this kind of Monolith section all in one. So, yeah, we're pushing in right here. I'm actually not going to need the ability yet. I'm probably going to pop the Minion Prince ability because I thought I maybe hit the Air Sweeper. I didn't. But here I'm actually going to get a nice turn to go Minion Prince first and then Warden. So we're going to be rolling around with the Dragon Riders and Jelly for a bit right here. Probably when they get in towards this section with the Minion Prince, I'll use the Warden ability because as long as my Minion Prince still has some Jelly alive after this Ricochet Cannon, he'll be close enough to help out. Yes, he will, so that's absolutely beautiful right here. He might be a little bit slow, to be honest, but I'll just poison him because this King can't obviously hurt me, so I'm mostly just scared about this Minion Prince. I'm holding the Warden ability just because I don't quite need it yet. I'll probably pop it right here just to make sure we can get through with a little bit of health. But yeah, we're rolling through this one quite nicely. I think we've crushed it. Once again, I got a nice charge through the base, but really all that's left is this multi-archer tower, and I kind of identified that. So without much air defense on the back end, I really just needed to push through that start, so that's why I popped the Minion Prince ability early. And yeah, we're going to walk through this base once again, just another 3-star. This day went honestly super smooth, no troubles. We had a little bit, close calls on time, but that's just what you're expecting with this army. I hope we can finish off. I guess we got a nice golem, so as long as we get, okay, the Super Dragon split. As long as I got something to the storage, we're fine. He should splash the King and get the storage at the same time, and the Dragon Riders are there. So we crushed this one. Another perfect day. I think that's 4 or 5 in a row for me, to be honest. I'm going to have to check, and we've been doing this with every army, so I really hope you guys are checking this out. We have 2 more defenses, so we're going to be going at least plus 46, which is a massive day right here. 56-28, we'll be finishing, in the 5500s, mid 5500s, which is awesome already this early in the season, and we're having fun, right? We're using different armies. I really appreciate the support you guys have been giving me, and I really enjoy bringing you armies like this that I think are really strong, but a little off meta to keep you kind of having fun. But this army is definitely really strong with the little bit of buff that came to the Dragon Riders, but it's so easy. So yeah, I just really appreciate you guys watching this video. If you made it this far, that's just incredible. I really enjoy you guys watching my whole video. But that'll do it for this one. Make sure you're entering that giveaway for today by leaving a comment and making sure you're subscribed and in my Discord. But yeah, really appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.